This is a podcast about both having autism and living with someone who has autism. My mom is Sonya, and I'm Josh, and this is Josh Has Autism.
Hey everybody, welcome to Josh Has Autism.
Hello.
Josh, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been doing yard work.
Oh,
so,
yeah?
So I'm probably gonna be sunburnt. Put my white legs out in the sun for the first time. So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna probably be burnt. So I want to talk today about Social Security. We've talked about that before when they tried to kick you off because they said you didn't have autism and all that kind of stuff. Well, this is different. They periodically need to verify that basically what you spend money on.
Okay.
It's just a review.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely 100% support the reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I don't want to do it. It's a pain in the rump, but it's important.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that there's anything wrong with verifying that there's a need and verifying that it's being used for you in the appropriate way.
Yeah.
It's so complicated. I don't even know how people cheat to get this. Seriously, I don't get it. It's something that's always complicated and difficult to maneuver. You have to wait and wait and wait and wait online, on the phone. No matter where you go, you have to wait and wait and wait and wait. Yeah. So it's just pretty crazy. But I did want to talk about a couple of things, just so that you're aware of it. I think you are because I talk to you about things. Mm-hmm. But the way that they want things done, just to run it down a little bit.
Okay.
They do what's called a review. And it's a regular review. Mm-hmm. And in the regular review, they just want to know, is the living situation the same?
Right.
Or has there been changes? Now, they already know that you're working because every single month when you're on SSI, and if you have a job, by the 5th of every month, you have to report last month's wages.
Right. And
what they do is they subtract your SSI, not all of it, but let's say you earn it $2, they take away $1 of SSI. But that's after the first $85. So anybody on SSI could make $85 a month and it doesn't affect anything. So the first $85 is not affected. After that, just to make it simple, every $2 that you make, they take away $1 from SSI. That's how that works. Were you going to ask a question?
No.
Oh. So, I
would put it just a little bit differently, actually. Because right after, I just thought of the better way to say it.
Okay.
Is that after the $85, for every $2 that you earn, $1 is withheld from the checks that we would get.
From SSI.
Yes.
Right.
Not that $1 goes to them or whatever. It's that I would get one less dollar from SSI.
Mm-hmm. And SSI is very different than SSDI. SSI is somebody that has a disability that's been diagnosed before they were 18. And it's a disability that is long term. So it doesn't look like it's going to get better. We're always hopeful. We keep plugging along in that direction.
Right. And that was SSI?
That's SSI. SSDI is somebody that's already been out in the workforce, and for some reason or another they have a medical condition that makes it difficult to work. They get injured, but sometimes illnesses or diseases will come up that people don't have when they start work. And then it progresses and becomes debilitating and they can no longer work. And so in that case, SSDI is what they would try to receive.
Okay.
You have SSI.
Just two S's, yes.
SSI. SSI. So anyway, what they want to do, and there's I wanted to say this on the podcast, and I feel like we probably covered the stuff before, but it's still relevant, so we'll just do it again. And that is that it's interesting if they want to know how much rent you pay. And if we give them a number, let's just say I was to say that you pay $300 in rent.
Okay.
And then they will say to me, is that what you would charge somebody else that was going to rent the same room? If I said no, I would charge $500 to them, they automatically are going to take $200 off of your SSI check.
Which is the difference between
$300 and $500.
Yeah.
So when SSI asks you, then it is important to clearly I'm an advocate for being honest and truthful.
Yes.
But the reason I'm saying this is because it can seem tricky, and it is designed that way. What I charge you is what I would charge somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Right.
But it's important to say, yes, it is the same. Otherwise, Social Security is going to not write that down, and they're going to take that from the check.
Right.
The other things that are interesting to me about SSI right now is that, for us anyway, we can't really go in.
Right, right.
We can't go in and see them, but they want me to have all this documentation, and by that I mean your pay stubs, which is confusing to me because it's reported to them every single month what you made the month before.
Mm-hmm.
And we have those pay stubs to hand them, but how can I hand them to them if they want a phone call? It doesn't make any sense, right? They're saying, I can't go into the office right now. Their building is still closed because of COVID.
Uh-huh.
So their building is still closed, but they want me to have this supporting documentation.
How are they going to get the documentation through a phone?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
That's really weird.
It seems pretty crazy to me. But they send out this letter, and what they want specifically is they want they say all household members. And what we do when it comes to SSI is that you're responsible separate from what we're responsible for.
Right.
And it's the best way that I've come up with to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
If SSI wasn't involved, I wouldn't be saying, Josh, this is yours and this is ours, you know.
Right.
SSI is very particular about how they view, and I'm not criticizing that because they should know where the money goes.
Right.
They're giving you the money. They have a right to know how it's being used.
Right.
And so, but we do have to keep things more separate because of SSI than I think we normally would.
Yeah. I mean, if I didn't need SSI, that's a huge amount of issues that we wouldn't have to deal with. More than likely including Josh has autism.
Well, right, and you probably you might not even be living with us,
Yeah.
So it's there's a whole bunch of factors there, but what they look at is, and the reason I said that it's separate is because there's a question on here that says all household members. Well, when I do it, I say that you are the one in your household. There's 3 of us living here.
But I pay for my own stuff.
But I say that it's just you because there's no there's no gray area, and we're very meticulous about this.
Mm-hmm.
Your money is your money,
Mm-hmm.
and it's used for rent, and it's used for utilities,
Mm-hmm.
and after that, it's for the things that you need.
Yeah.
And it has to be separate that way. And what I do know is that they want to know, like, the household bills that you pay. And so I look at all of those. Because sometimes there's a fluctuation.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say that there's a gas bill.
Mm-hmm.
One time, depending on the time of year, the
Yeah.
gas bill could be like $80. Sometimes it's $140. Just depends on what time
Right.
time of year it is. So I kind of go in the middle of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go, okay, well, let's see. We'll go in the middle of that and divide that by 3. And then, but that's your amount. And what it comes down to is I don't fluctuate that. I say to you, you have, $35 that you owe each month for the gas bill.
Right.
And that's something that they want to know about.
Yeah.
They want to know what you pay each month. And the reason that I'm talking about this today is because it's something that anybody that's on SSI is going to have to deal with. And it can feel scary. It can feel intimidating, kind of. It's not as bad as when they're trying to take your benefits away. This is just a regular review where they're just trying to make sure that
Everything's on the up and up.
Well, yes, and also that there hasn't been a whole bunch of changes that would change what you're eligible for.
Right.
And so the things that they want, and the reason I say that you are one member in your household is because anything other than that really makes it complicated. And so I keep it separate and do what Social Security kind of says needs to be done.
Yeah.
I do that with your money. And you are starting to learn about money and banking, and I'm showing you what's happening to money and working with you on knowing when something is due.
Right.
And how you're, so that you can really begin to do that on your own.
Right.
Because right now, I take care of all your money.
Yeah.
And you do have a bank card, but you don't use it unless you ask. And we're working on you having more freedom with that and understanding and taking care of that stuff on your own.
Right.
But one of the things that they ask for are bank statements. They want to know your savings and checking accounts and any other bank statements for all household members. Again, if I were to say that there's 3 in the household, they want all of us. They want our bank accounts. They want our savings and checking and all that. The other thing they want is any pension. So again, the Veterans Affairs, civil service, military, all that, it doesn't apply to you because,
Right.
Again, it's easier to just say that it's just you.
Yeah.
Because this is included in that. Pay stubs. So they want the pay stubs. I don't know why they're asking for that because you provide everything.
Right.
Well, it used. Let me say this. It used to be, and ideally, you will take your pay stubs down to Social Security office, and they'll make a copy, so that they have them.
Yeah.
Well, Social Security offices have been closed. And so how it's been done for you is that there's an app, a Social Security app, that is where you go and we report your
Monthly.
previous month's earnings
by
the 5th of every month.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they don't have the pay stubs, but I don't know. Only we have them to give to them, but I don't know.
Right.
How they're going to get them if we can't see them.
Mm-hmm.
Unemployment payment records, workers' compensation for all household members, life insurance policies, and burial contract agreement for all household members. Okay. I am, again, I'll just say it, for anybody that's out there that's trying to maneuver through this, you're an adult,
Mm-hmm.
and because you're an adult, we are able to say that you are the one in your household. Because otherwise, everything, and when you're under 18, it's everything's different anyway. Because you're a minor, it's handled differently.
Right.
You don't need to turn in all of these things because you're a minor.
Right.
They're still going to ask how we're using the money.
Right.
I used to have to break down how much was for food, how much was for your, clothing or whatever.
And toiletries and things like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think, as far as I can understand at least,
Mm-hmm.
is because I'm renting.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me the one who's singular, even though it's your house. I guess.
Yeah, and what
is that what?
That could be the case, right? That could be the case. The way that I look at it is that all of your money is to take care of you and you alone.
Yeah.
As an individual.
Yeah.
You don't buy us anything with your money. You don't give us any of the money.
Right.
That money is used. I say, this is how much rent is. This is how much. And I have it broken down where you have mortgage, gas, water, sewer and trash, and energy,
Mm-hmm.
which is the electric bill.
Yeah.
So that's how I break it down, and I add all that up, and that's what I tell them that you pay. And then they don't necessarily want to know what you do with the money that's left over,
Mm-hmm.
because there's really not a lot. There's about $150 left over after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they understand that you have living expenses.
Yeah.
So they don't really ask what we do with, with the rest of that. So anyway, so it is something that's going to be done periodically. There's the review that takes place. And it just one of those things that I think people need to hear, that what I've found helpful, again, I'm going to say it again,
Mm-hmm.
You're an individual,
Mm-hmm.
because your money is your money, and you don't give us any money, and we don't help you with those things. You're responsible for those things.
Right. You don't help me financially for those things, I guess.
That's a good way to put it, yes. I help you to maneuver. I help you to be successful through this monthly, yet I don't help you financially with those things.
Right.
That's what you're responsible for.
Right.
SSI or Social Security Administration wants to know that this is what your money goes to, and it's your money alone. Nobody helps you. You don't get any discount because you're a kid.
Right.
And that's the way it has to be. Right. So when somebody that's out there that's maybe going to maneuver through this, if you would, let's say you would rent your space for $500. There's a room there. You would rent it for $500. It's important to let Social Security know that, whatever you're charging, that's what you would charge.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to lose money.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense to me, because I know that naturally. Look, if I was going to sell a car,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to sell a car for $10,000,
Mm-hmm.
and you needed a car. Well, first of all, I'm probably going to give it to you. But if I was going to sell it to you, I would probably sell it to you for like
less,
$3,000 or something.
Yeah.
So Security goes, so it's like, wait a second, no, you can't, because the inclination is to make it cheaper, to be nice, to be supportive. And what I'm saying is that Social Security doesn't want us to be that way. They want us to know that it's the fair market value
right.
of the rental space.
Right. Or if in the situation that the example you're describing is the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's well, yes, they don't ask. Yeah, they don't ask about that.
Right.
Well, my point is though is that while the natural inclination is to go, well, you're my kid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a better deal than somebody else, but even the rent that you pay, but it's got to be fair market, or else you get hurt in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Nothing else.
Oh.
I was agreeing with you. That's all.
Oh, but they want to have your bank accounts and everything.
Yeah.
And I've said this before that you're only allowed you can't have more than $2,000. You can own a car, you can own a house with SSI,
mm-hmm.
but you can't own you can't own 2 vehicles, you can't own 2 houses, and you cannot have more than $2,000. So there's that.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what I've been dealing with this week, and it's a pain in the rump because I keep calling, and have a hard time getting through.
Mm-hmm.
And then now they do this thing that's obnoxious. You ever call and you get put on hold, and then there's music?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is not music. It's a beep, 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 like that.
Oh
I'm like,
gosh.
oh, just to make me a little bit more crazy.
Wow.
So that was is what I've been dealing with this week.
Thank you, and I'm sorry.
Well, it's kind of a it's a stressful thing, but once you get through it, then it's done till the next time, which is usually a couple of years. They might do it yearly, but maybe every couple of years. I don't remember, but yeah, it's not so bad. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to tell everybody about, because I think it's important that everybody, because
that everybody becomes aware of this kind of thing.
Yeah, and especially if you're just starting to do it, you don't
Yeah.
know those things, and I think those things are important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally don't think that, look, if I'm going to rent a room in the house to somebody for $500, I should be able to tell you that you don't have to pay anything, or you pay $200-$300,
Yeah.
because you're my kid. But I can't because of Social Security and their rules.
Yeah.
So it is important that you do the, morally and ethically right thing.
Yeah.
And so I try, but I
Yeah.
don't know if Social Security understands those 2 words.
I think that the people in Social Security understand, but the guidelines make it difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your goal is to get off of SSI, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. So you would, right now, your job is 20 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
And so, obviously, you cannot make enough money working 20 hours a week. Is there a way for you to get full-time in what you're doing right now? Or
No.
are you interested in doing full-time?
There's not a full-time position for what I do.
And what is your job title?
Library assistant.
Okay.
It used to be called a page.
Hmm.
So I'm.
You wish it was still called a page? You don't care?
I don't. I don't care. No.
Because I just thought that you would think that was cool.
Well,
You're
what I find funny is that whenever I was in high school, whenever I was in the library so much that they didn't give me a job per se, but whenever I would have a free period, I'd be allowed to come in and help put the books away and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't a paid position or anything like that, but I was called a library assistant.
Oh, so that's what you do now.
And it's what I do now, but I get paid for it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And so there's just is there ever a time where a library assistant is a full-time job?
Not here, no.
Okay, but maybe in other cities or...
Maybe, but I don't know about other places.
Is this what you want to be doing in the library, or have you seen other positions that you really would like to try?
This is what I like. The other positions there
Mm-hmm.
typically have more responsibilities and people that work under them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'll say that thing again that we know very well, that you want to be in charge of things.
Yes.
And not to be in charge of people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Being in charge of things is easier, isn't it?
It is. And there is, in any given day at work, there is a lot of, while there are guidelines for what I do,
Mm-hmm.
it is a loose enough structure that if something does come up, there's already a procedure for what to do for it.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
And another cool thing about it is that I have people I can ask if there's any questions or any confusion. There's people I can go to clarify things.
That's something that I was wondering about recently, is that, are you feeling very comfortable and confident in your job at this point?
I am, yeah.
So you don't have to go ask for guidance very often?
Not often at all anymore, yeah. And it's kind of funny because we recently had two new hires for the same position that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And I helped train them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And one of the things that we do is that whenever 5 o'clock comes around on a weekday, we take down the flags and fold them up and everything. And everyone's always so shocked that the flags look so neat folded up whenever I do it. But to show them how to do it, before I even had them try it on a real flag, I gave them each an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and had them make a paper football.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's essentially the same exact way you're supposed to fold it.
Right.
And no one else had considered that. And
cool.
So instead of each of them doing it individually or whatever, I was doing the actual flags while they were mimicking it with the pieces of paper.
Oh, cool. Do you fold them up outside?
Inside.
Inside? You bring them inside?
Yes.
You lay them on a table and do it?
Yes,
Okay.
because they're not supposed to be on the ground.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where did you learn how to do the flags? Fold the flags?
Part of it was seeing it done once and making the correlation between the paper football. But the other was just, I learned it at work. That's it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was wondering if Dad had ever shown you, because he, that's something that he was in charge of on all the ships, were the flags.
Yeah, no, that was, even in Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts, whatever, I was never in charge of the flags.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And so did they comment on that? They liked...
Yeah, not just the two people who were learning, but even the higher ups were impressed with that.
Oh, very cool.
So, and I try and impart little tricks that I've learned to them and everything, and they're getting a lot faster and everything, so it's really working.
Nice. Do you ever work with any of them, or is there just one library assistant at a time?
Usually there's around 2. Never all 4 of us, because there's 4 in the same position. But it can vary. But yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that it's going so well.
Yeah.
And
me too.
Yes, and I know that, like, again, ideally what you'd like to do is to be able to work, to a point and with enough hours and what have you that you could get off of SSI.
Yeah.
I know that's what you want to do because SSI is a wonderful
aid.
It is. It really makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And it's important.
Yeah. But I don't want to be on it forever.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. Yep. I understand that. Yeah. So, what else is going on with you today?
Not much, really.
Today's your day off?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
On your days off, usually what happens is you come looking for food.
I do laundry here, yeah.
Yeah. Laundry and food. Yep. Anyway, well, that's for me. That was all I wanted to talk about today. It's been crazy with, the lots of stuff going on, lots of construction going on. We've got maybe less than 2 weeks now before the addition is finished.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And anyway, so it's been kind of crazy with that. But anyway, you been working on your speech?
I've been trying to, yeah.
Yeah, good deal. Good deal. All right. Well, that's all I had. That's all you had. So, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. Remember, I always say short and sweet, but it's never short and sweet.
Yeah, this time it is fairly short and sweet.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, kind of. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you have any questions about the SSI, Social Security that I'm talking about, please send a message.
Or even just anything else that you might have a question for us. Yes,
absolutely. But please give us 5 stars. That helps us to be found. And go to sonyaking.com, SONYAKNG.
What?
SONYAKING.
Okay.
Yes, to past podcasts or pretty soon we will be adding upcoming events.
Oh, cool.
Because starting next month we'll be out gigging it. So, yep.
What?
Well,
Out gigging it?
Gigging it. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I hope you're healthy and happy, and I'm sending you big hugs. Love you.
Bye.